Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go.
Welcome to Up and Go here on the Bridge 99 FM to the world. Morning, Jody.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good morning to the Bridge Nation family as well.
All right. Good morning, Audley.
Good morning, sir.
All right. I hardly heard you, Audley.
I said, good morning. Morning. Oh, that's a morning.
Oh, that's DJ Roy. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So many things to get through. There's a lot on the agenda this morning.
Yes, there is.
And we're looking forward to it. First interview coming up at
8 a.m.
Yeah.
And then we have, it's important to have Dennis Chung with us right now.
Yeah.
Because of the increase.
Minimum wage.
Minimum
Yeah.
wage.
Moving from 7,000 per week to what, 9,000?
9,200.
Yeah. Well,
thereabouts.
I think it's about $9,000. And the security guards are also getting increased rates
they're
also.
getting an increase as well. So
long overdue.
Yeah.
And many people would say still not enough.
Right.
No, seriously, Jody. You wonder how some of these women especially, with a family, actually survive.
It's incredible to see what they do with that.
Right. And we're encouraging persons out there like myself who continues to pay or helper more than what is actually designated by the government.
Right. I believe that if you can, you should.
Yeah,
honestly.
Exactly. They play a very vital role in our lives, I tell you that much. So that is one of the items on the agenda. A lot is happening over there between Russia and the Ukraine.
Wow, it's just scary every time. I'm afraid. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. It seems like it's on the brink of World War III, and I'm just watching and hoping that something.
Ukraine to declare a state of emergency amid Russian aggression.
I hope it doesn't, Richie, because that is going to affect
everybody.
Yeah, let me tell you something. One of the first things that will be impacted is the price of oil.
Yes.
Yep, and that is going to impact all of our lives.
The world. That's why we don't need no war right now.
Yeah, it's going to have a ripple effect right across the world. Let me tell you something. It's nothing that we want to see happen.
No.
And although it is quite likely, and it seems like it's definitely gonna be the case. Anyway. We stay positive, and we're happy to have your company. Our friends overseas, thank you for joining us. And, of course, here in Jamaica, this is Up and Go, and you are on the Bridge 99. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for What the Fact. WTF. Heroin was once used to treat children's coughs. So, as the story goes, Bayer, the German pharmaceutical company that produces... what? Aspirin. Commercialized heroin in the 1890s.
Oh, boy.
Heroin we're talking about, you know. Yeah, they commercialized heroin in the 1890s as a cough, cold, and pain remedy. What's really shocking, however, is that Bayer marketed heroin for use in children as late as 1912. For those who are watching our streaming portal, you can see images on our screens at this time. So that is very shocking that they marketed heroin for use in children as late as 1912, years after reports began to surface that it could be a dangerous drug. The story continues. In 1914, heroin was restricted to prescription-only use in the U.S. and eventually banned by the FDA altogether in 1924. So, that's the story, and that's a fact. I'm quite surprised.
Boy.
Aren't you?
Yes, I'm just really interested in finding out which race they used this on. I don't want to get into trouble, but I'm wondering if it was for every child. You know what I mean? That is not look safe. How could that...
I'm wondering about the impact that would have been having on these youngsters back then. These kids must have been on a high. If what we've read about heroin is to be believed. I mean... we didn't hear about any deaths. The story didn't talk about deaths, but yeah. But then again, when you go to the dentist, they say you use what's it called? DJ Audley. They call it cocaine.
Well, we Jamaicans call it cocaine, but it is the anesthesia.
Yeah, right, anesthetic. So
Right,
So
and then
that is still being used. Maybe another 100 years from now, they'll be writing about what we did 100 years before, like using cocaine in our gum when we go to the dentist. These are facts.
Yeah.
As strange as they sound, that was what the fact. Heroin was once used to treat children's coughs.
Wow.
Believe that. All right, time for update. I think all of us have some stories to share, starting off with Jody. What you got, Jody?
All right. Morning again, Bridge Nation. Morning, Richie.
Hey.
Morning, Shellz.
Good morning, Jojo.
All right. So, this morning update, Beanie Man, I remind Una who the king of dancehall is in his new song. So
Zaga.
he has Zaga. He has taken to studio to reaffirm that he is the king of dancehall, and he's just letting persons know that he might come back and remind everybody say him dominate dancehall and him there for years, and even when him they drop off a farm, he might come back on for sure that he is the king. Him explain that his him being in the game for so long, his hard work in the studio, and he's not gonna stop. He's gonna continue to do what he does best. I haven't gotten the single as yet, but we know the single before. Who Am I? Sim Simma, and he had another one called King of the Dancehall. He had a self-titled song called King of the Dancehall, but the other song coming up, I'm not too sure of it just yet. Well, waiting on it.
Trouble Daddy.
I mean, he can be the king, but we know what the dancehall era. You see me?
All these titles. Some one person, emperor.
Exactly.
Look, I have a few kings.
A few.
Yeah. So no reactions yet from
No, nobody's reacting to. Nobody's gonna.
Everybody's all right.
Yeah, everybody's all right with
with
Beanie Man being the king of dance.
It's all right. I'm Bounty King of Kingston. Everything can work out. And anyway,
King of Portmore.
I want to hear what has to say about that.
Well, into other news, Reggae DJ says Peaky Blinders actor will not get the Bob Marley's accent right in the biopic. So as we all know, a new Bob Marley biopic will be coming out, and people, especially Jamaicans, don't quite like the choice, and including a veteran British music selector and broadcaster named Danny Ernie. He's joining the Jamaican Nationals in voicing concerns about the British actor Kingsley Ben-Adir being handpicked to play Bob Marley in an upcoming Paramount Pictures biopic. Daddy Ernie went on to say they definitely ain't going to get that accent right. We know that because they never get the Jamaican accent right. No. Whether it's Marley, Peter Touch, or Daddy Ernie. He told The Voice that in an interview following the announcement. Now hear this, Richie.
Yeah.
Ernie told The Voice that although he could not readily pinpoint a Jamaican actor suited for the job, he was confident that enough talent was on the island, within the borders, to do it, or even in the diaspora. But to me, Daddy Ernie sounds like confusing at the next statement, because himself, I definitely would have liked to see a Jamaican actor given the part, but I'm struggling to see or even to think of a Jamaican actor who could play Marley, really. So, himself kind of confused. For me personally, it is what it is. You see me? We're glad to the legend I get a little biopic. I hope they tell us, the truth. Yeah. And thing.
They need to get it right, though. They honestly do.
I really think that one of his sons could have played it.
Easily. Yeah. Or even IT.
That's true.
Yes.
From IT and Fancy Cat.
Yeah, right? That's true. That's true. I never thought of that. That's true.
Anyhow, on a little bit more serious note here, the Prime Minister made some announcements yesterday, and this has to do, inside of update, we're telling you that it has to do with the new COVID containment measures, and they take effect, these that were announced yesterday, take effect on the 25th of February this year. And in a nutshell, new nightly curfew, midnight to 5 a.m., gathering limit for funerals and burials up from 20 to 100 people. Burials are permitted Mondays to Fridays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And those are some of the major points. The Jam COVID authorization is to be abandoned. Thank God. I don't know what was wrong with that portal, but every time that I've traveled, I've had difficulty and I've had to seek help to complete that application because if you make if you any little thing at all, it's not going through, and you're there kind of stuck wondering if you can get back into your country.
Oh Lord.
So I'm happy that is the case. Actually, travel-related quarantine to be eliminated. Limit for public sector events up from 50 to 100. And the Prime Minister said the COVID pre-test, the COVID pre-test, no more than 72 hours old, will continue to be required for people traveling to Jamaica. Okay. So those are the some of the announcements that he made yesterday, and it seems like they're pulling the screws a little bit, loosening things up a little bit.
One more hour.
Yeah. I wonder if that means Sumfest is definitely on. I hope so.
Let's
see how it goes. That was Update.
The proverb of the day.
And Rainford is gonna play it for us.
Marker asks, parrot if mango ripe, he say 1-1.
Then probably just like get harder.
Parrot if mango ripe, he say 1-1.
Okay then.
English that?
Why everybody? First of all,
where's that from?
Guyana. We're still in Guyana.
From here to he said.
He said, I'm struggling here, guys. But Master asked parrot if mango ripe. Him say 1-1. And it's very interesting. I was you cannot like think to yourself, I wonder what this means. You definitely have to see the meaning somewhere because I'm trying to figure out what that gonna mean now. Yeah. You know, but
it's two birds having a conversation. It seems. The macaw and the parrot.
Yes.
So the macaw asked the parrot if mango ripe. And he said
1-1.
And I was like, what?
Okay, let's get the meaning then.
But the meaning is you should not tell everything. Room should be left to others to find out some things for themselves. And I agree with that. Yeah.
Hear that, Instagram models?
You know, a lot of people have pitting
influencers.
Drink water and mind my business.
Drink water and mind your business. That's right, Richie. I agree with you.
Okay. That was today's proverb. It's one out of Guyana. I'm finding the Guyanese proverbs quite interesting, as a matter of fact.
I have some more to share with you guys. Nice. They're going to pop up.
Oh, really? Right. We're looking forward to it. Join us again tomorrow morning at 7:45 for another proverb of the day. And we move now right into our next feature.
Pet peeves. So you know what pet peeve means by now. So it's, whatever annoys you. Things that people do that irritate you. Just grind your gears, really. So today's pet peeve comes from me. And we're going to play.
Okay then. Let's hear it.
Morning, Up and Go family.
Morning, Jordan.
My pet peeve are people who mean, them don't even give a prayers, but them love people things. Rub me the wrong way all the time. Them not easy.
Them too mean.
Jojo said that not even give away a prayer.
Not even prayer them give away. But them always want your things. Yeah. And if you ever stretch your hand and ask for something, they're never there to give it to you. Irritate me, man.
Yeah, that would irritate anybody. Yeah. Especially if you're a giving kind of person. Yeah. So wow. Hope you haven't encountered anybody like that recently.
Not recently,
okay.
no.
Okay, we'll give thanks. We'll give thanks.
We're good. It's not we shut up.
I wonder.
No, man, not at all.
Okay. Standing by to have a chat with Dennis Chung, and he speaks a lot on the economy. And of course, he's also holding down a substantive position of Chief Executive Officer of Supreme Ventures Services Limited. And as we have told you before, we're going to be talking to him about the recently announced increase in the minimum wage, especially affecting household helpers and security guards. And
man,
yeah,
this is good. This should be interesting.
I think
I can't wait to hear what he has to say. To be honest,
and talking about that, somebody just sent me a note a while ago, Shellz, and here is what they said. They said Dennis Chung, he knows his stuff. That's a big name you got there, bro. So people are looking forward to having that, to the conversation we'll have. So yesterday, in fact, we learned that the cabinet has approved a 28.5% increase in the national minimum wage effective April 1, 2022. And it was announced by the Minister of Labor and Social Security, Honorable Carl Samuda. And he says this will see the rate moving from $7,000 to $9,000 per 40-hour work week. That's a 28.5% increase. Minister Carlson Muda also went on to advise that during a press conference that the cabinet approved increases in the minimum wage for industrial security guards, and in their instance, their pay is moving from a minimum of $9,700 to $10,500 per 40-hour work week, along with accompanying allowances. So the truth is, while many persons have welcomed the wage increase, there are many who are saying it is still not enough. And at the same time, Shellz, there are employers who are pondering their own level of affordability.
That's fair.
With this level of increase. Joining us at this time is Dennis Chung, economic commentator and CEO of Supreme Ventures Services Limited, to share his thoughts on the increase in the minimum wage. Good morning, Dennis. How are you doing?
Hi, how you doing, Richie?
I'm doing well. How have you been, my brother?
I'm good. I see you're in the right business, because when they see the pressure hit you, just drink out the stock.
You saw what I was doing last night, Dennis. But it's really good to have you. Myself and Shellz are having a conversation with you.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chung. How are you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
Fine, thanks.
So Dennis, in all seriousness, give us first of all your thoughts on this 28.5% increase in the minimum wage.
Well, let me start by saying that it really is a guide, eh?
Yes.
It's a basic wage that we should not go beyond below. But the truth is that $9,000 is really very, very low and below what I consider a livable wage. It's a guide. I mean, what the government does when it puts out a minimum wage is say, do not pay people below this amount. And the government has to. Well, first, let me say that I think that it is a good increase, a 28.5% increase, because don't just think about it from the point of view of the employee getting it, but think about it from an employer having a 28.5% increase on their costs, on their salaries. I mean, that's significant, right? So the government has to create this balancing act, because when people think about people paying salaries, they think a lot of times about businesses paying salaries. But remember that the minimum wage applies to household work. It applies to persons that does gardening, and so there are individuals that employ people also. And the problem is that a lot of individuals and businesses also, over the past 2 years, for example, have suffered and suffered tremendously in terms of income loss. And some people who have managed to get an increase, as we see the public sector workers, they get a 4% increase. So you put a 28.5% increase on that cost that they have to pay. And you see the dilemma that and the balancing act that the government has to look at. And that is why there was a commission that looked at it. It wasn't something that someone just come up with a number. The data was there, and they've looked at it from the point of view of the employer and the employee, and then they made a decision. And that's why you have to deal with it, because it is difficult, right? But, you have to balance both sides. And the real problem, Richie, as I've always been saying, is that the problem that we have is labor productivity. I mean, let us say that we increase minimum wage, for example, by 100%, right? One of the challenges we have is that if we increase the income levels without increasing productivity, then what you have inflation.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to consider, right? Because the more money that you have out there with the same amount of goods, is the higher prices are going to go also. So put that on top of the fact that we're having imported inflation, and you see the sort of consideration that has to be made to go into that. While you want to balance and say, well, people really deserve more money, at the same time you're saying, what can the employer afford so that people are not laid off? And also, what can the economy afford so that prices don't move?
All right. This has been a while in coming because it has been a few years that they have been waiting for this level of increase, eh?
Yeah, no, definitely. But, we in Jamaica, we always will have this problem, Richard, because the fact of the matter is that we don't have increase in labor productivity, and that's a real issue, right? You don't hear this argument in developed countries like in Europe and the US. You don't hear this sort of thing that so many persons are at the minimum wage, and that's telling. Why something must be wrong if so many people are at the minimum wage or barely above the minimum wage. We have a productivity issue in the country, and that's the only way to increase people's standard of living, right? Because as you increase salaries forcibly by legislation, and your productivity is declining, right, which it has been since 1972, then you have that dilemma to deal with, and people are just going to get, more impoverished, as time goes by, irrespective of how much you increase in minimum wage, because we have a declining labor productivity issue.
Yeah.
Mr. Chung, Shellz here. This is admittedly this is all fairly new to me in terms of me understanding this, and I really appreciate what you're putting forward. I like the fact that you said this is almost like a balancing act for the government, because I never thought of it that way. I never saw it from that perspective. But you touched on inflation being a factor. My question is, based on the increased inflation, do you believe this minimum wage increase is enough to positively impact the workers? I just want you to further speak on that if you can.
No, I don't. I mean, I've always maintained, and I know I've been talking to Richie for a little while, and I've been saying that inflation was going to be a problem because of all the lockdowns and everything that happened, because you cut your supply chain, right? And the fact of the matter is that this inflation is going to be here with us for a little while. The BOJ project until the end of this year, and I think is very likely. And I don't think that the increase is going to do much, but it's a reprieve. I mean, when you're making $7,000 and you get $2,000 on it, that's, for us, it might not seem like a lot, but it's huge for them. But then my worry is how long will it last? Because if you're not increasing productivity and you're increasing the amount of income out there, then sooner or later, the real income is going to decline again.
Okay.
And that really is the issue. I mean, it's way less than adequate. That's the first thing we have to admit. $9,000 a week, is way less than adequate. But, there's not much more that can be done.
Dennis, how should employers then treat with this announcement, especially those employers who can, in fact, afford to pay more? What do you suggest that they do?
Well, if you can afford to pay more, and many people are already doing that, pay more. I listened to the person from the Householders Union yesterday on radio, and she was saying that most household help is actually getting much more than the minimum wage already. So I think that people recognize that the minimum wage as is, people can't live on, but there are a lot of people who are still getting the minimum wage, and some people use it as a base to say, okay, I will pay you the minimum wage plus X amount. So I think employers are already doing what they can do, but the pressure is on employers also. Remember that it's not employees alone seeing these price increases. Employers are seeing a lot of price increases too.
Do you see opportunities for household helpers, for instance, to maybe do additional services, like maybe do some shopping for their employers, maybe drive them to the hospital and so on, as happens like in the United States, where we know many persons do this kind of work and actually get additional pay? Do you see opportunities like those existing here in Jamaica?
Yeah, man, definitely. And the same lady I was listening to last night said she's actually training the persons in the union to do that.
Okay.
How to shop, how computer literacy, because a household person, I mean, if you think about it, if you can get someone, Richie, who can help your child with school, can cook well, can do other things, do shopping for you and all of those things, you will pay a premium for that,
Yes.
Right? And that is productivity. But think about it this way, Richie. When you train one person to do all of that, she's going to replace a driver. And she's going to replace someone who carries the groceries to your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, to do that. So while you're increasing productivity, understand that productivity improvements also has displacements that happens with it.
Excellent analyses. Before you go, Dennis, I'd like to just ask you to give us a comment so that we can understand more clearly what happened with that announcement recently from the BOJ, where the governor announced that there's a hike in their policy rate, 4%, and we understand it's the fourth and most dramatic adjustment to date. What will be impacted by this increase? Is it mortgages? Is it loans? What's going on? Tell us.
Yeah, well, I think that sort of increase, obviously the banks, I think, will have to pass it through to consumers. And, it means that, obviously, that interest rates can go up on variable loans, mortgages, car loans, that sort of thing. You might see rates going up. And what that is the effect, really, that the BOJ wants in terms of reducing consumption. Now, I think, Richie, that people should have been planning for this day from over a year ago, because, as I said, if I was saying it and other people were saying that inflation was going to be a problem, then if inflation is a problem, then you know that rates are going to go up. And if you know that rates are going to go up, then you don't take discretionary loans, because it's going to impact. But what this rate increase is going to do, definitely it's going to reduce consumption and liquidity in the economy as a means to control inflation, and more particularly control the exchange rate. Because if we don't control the exchange rate movements, then we're going to have a problem even bigger than what we're seeing right now.
It seems like it's not just us, but many other countries that are going this route, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, man, everybody. The U.S. is signaling that they're going to increase rates, and people are looking at a 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, but it looks like they might be going more with 50 basis points, which is 0.5%, and we can't remain constant when the U.S. is moving, because that will just impact our currency.
Yeah. Dennis Chung, thank you so very much, as always, man. Great having you, and you have a great day today. Talk to you soon.
All right, you too.
All right, bye-bye. That was Dennis Chung, ladies and gentlemen, speaking to us as in his capacity as an economic commentator.
Wow.
We learned a lot from that, didn't we?
Hey, adulting is getting realer for me as a young man. You understand me? So I learned a lot. So thank you, Mr. Chung. I really appreciate that. It's your boy Shellz, and this is Tech This. What is Tech This? This is where I'll be just discussing, advancements in technologies all over the world. Technology all over the world. You see me? So they're not normal. And today, I'll be featuring the Anchor Sound Core Frames. Now, listen, Bridge Nation. We all know wearable technology, wearable audio technology is incredibly popular for obvious reasons. We all want to be able to, look at the visuals. We never know they're going to find the visuals. That's nice. Yes. So as we know, for obvious reasons, wearable audio technology is incredibly popular. We all want to, be able to listen to our favorite music while on the go, creating our own little world in the process, you know what I mean? Now, we're all familiar with earphones, headphones, and of course the new craze, which are the AirPods. But what if I told you, Bridge Nation, that there's a device that combines the sleekness of a fresh pair of glasses along with the convenience of being able to listen to music wherever you go? This is where the Anchor Soundcore frames come in. Now, the Anchor Soundcore frames are essentially Bluetooth sunglasses that have dual speakers positioned above and behind the ears. This makes it possible to be able to hear music or phone calls very clearly without needing to ever have to cover your ears completely. Can you believe that? It supports voice controls, letting you control music manually and execute tasks on your mobile device with the aid of Siri or Google Assistant. In addition, listen to this now. In addition, the Anchor sound frames come in a wide range of styles in attempt to fulfill or to suit any specific fashion sense. So if you know you want shades one day, but you want to look like you have on test glasses the next day, they come in a whole lot of sizes and shapes and all these things to suit your fashion sense. So check them out. Also, it gives you a 5.5 hours of playtime. And it's also water resistant. Can you believe that? The price for these very fashionable game changers is $150. Yes. So you can check them out. For me, Richie, I'm not going to tell a lie. I know my generation, we like have our ears covered and tune out the whole world. We say noise cancellation. But this is pretty cool. You know, glasses that you just walk around look like, and they're not big. Like when I heard about it, I thought about some Robocop looking things. But they look just like your glasses. They have frames that look just like yours, and you can hear very clearly.
What surprised me is the cost, because usually this is the new technology.
Yeah.
And usually they're very high priced at the beginning.
Yeah, it's
$150?
$150. And it's actually, it was $190 on Amazon, and they gave you a discount. So $150.
That sounds rather cool to me. Yeah, wearable audio technology. You know my next question. What will they think of next?
Tune in to take this and find out.
I enjoyed that one. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man, no problem.
That was Tech This. Time for update. And we start off with Jody. What you got, Jody?
Okay, ladies. First, so Megan Thee Stallion lashes out at Carl Crawford, says legal fight not over. So Megan Thee Stallion has responded to a post by Carl Crawford after she dismissed a lawsuit against the label exec and his company. The Savage rapper has been quiet in recent months, but she popped up on social media recently to shut down a lawsuit update by her former label, 1501 Entertainment, owned by Carl Crawford, though he went on social media to share a screenshot of a news article about Megan filing court documents to dismiss her lawsuit against the label. Megan Thee Stallion, however, got wind of the post and shared a fiery response as she called out Crawford for sharing inaccurate information about the reason behind a part of the lawsuit being dismissed. She's like, this dude never know what is going on with his business, you know, and she's so over him, and she's hoping that, you know, all of this will be cleared up and she doesn't have to deal with him anymore. So
she just basically saying the man need to just handle him business.
Yeah. Exactly.
Respect.
She's like, you don't even know what you're talking about at this point.
Yeah, man.
Handle your business, brother.
I guess you can say we're sticking with entertainment with this one. Tommy Lee Sparta's lawyer, Indicom, and the correctional department are all investigating the whole alleged fight. We also are going with Tommy Lee recently when I like what we see. However, on Tuesday afternoon, the Independent Commission of Investigations, Indicom, announced that it has launched an investigation into the alleged incident involving dancehall artist Tommy Lee Sparta, who was allegedly beaten by police officers and is presently in hospital. Now, we all know a video was circulating on social media showing an alleged altercation with several officers. Photos of an unconscious Tommy Lee Sparta were also shared, but we know few details have been revealed about the whole incident. Also, we know that the Jamaica Constabulary Force, they're not going to keep silent, and we're glad they didn't. They said that the artist had refused to go into his cell and had thrown his breakfast at officers. Now, an update from Tommy Lee's team, though, said that the artist had an emergency surgery. I want to know, hinting that his injuries could be extensive and possibly include broken bones. Wow. Now, Indicom, they released a statement saying that, you know, they are going to take serious steps into interviewing the artist and collect medical entries and reports on the extent of his injuries, as well as that of the single officer said to be involved, and taking statements from witnesses to ascertain the facts. The organization, also said it is seeking to ascertain the number of correctional officers involved in the incident, collect evidence of the incident, and serve Section 21 notices to any concerned officer for the submission of a statement where needed. So,
wow.
You get the feeling that we're not getting all that that we ought to know.
Something. I don't know not much about prison life, thankfully. However, you know, when an inmate lash out against a correctional officer, power has to be restored. And because an inmate as prominent as Tommy Lee, you'd expect the officer to be like, I'm gonna make you style me in front of the rest of the inmate them, and the rest of the inmate them take me feed that.
Yeah.
So a lot of things.
Example.
Allegedly, yeah. So we'll see it go.
But I actually know a few persons in the correctional facilities.
Yeah.
At the not inmates.
No. Hey,
yeah, there are people too, but I'm referring now to warders.
Right.
And one actually told me yesterday that this might very well be a big publicity stunt.
Oh.
That put a whole new different in fact, I was told that Tommy Lee is in a separate cell by himself.
Okay.
Which is not usually the case.
That's what I'm saying.
And it was also suggested that either the person or one of the warders with whom he had this so-called altercation is actually someone who is, for the most part, making sure that Tommy Lee himself is A-OK.
Hold up.
So that puts a whole new
spin on it.
The whole matter.
But he's...
So you're telling me you get some licking at your head from your bread?
So you pay somebody for licking at your head? Allegedly?
Them boops.
I don't want to be that famous.
The plot thickens.
Then boops one album drop.
Right?
See that?
And you'll be like, but he's in what?
Man, oh, man. Lord. Final one that we have for you, though. A Jamaican woman who boarded a Cayman Airways flight last year when she had symptoms and knew, it is said, that she had tested positive for COVID-19. Her name is Stephanie Clark. She's 28. She's Jamaican. She was sentenced in Cayman in summer court on Tuesday to 4 months in imprisonment following her conviction for breaching Cayman's COVID-19 regulations. The case, of course, had stirred quite a significant amount of public outcry, and they thought that she was putting other people at risk. But her arguments are, how could I be traveling and nobody picked up on this positive test result, which she said she showed everybody. And the judge and others there in Cayman are saying, we're not taking that story. You knew, and you went ahead and traveled. It is also said that she showed a negative test result in Jamaica, but maybe mistakenly when she got to Cayman, she showed a positive result.
Oh, no, man.
So she's going to be serving 4 months in prison for this breach, whether it was intentional or accidental. We're not even too sure, but the judges are definitely going with the former, saying that it was intentional. Sadie?
Yeah, that's sad. 4 months?
Yeah.
Lord.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for
Update.
All right, it's 9:31 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. It's time now for the Secret Sound game. You can call us on 876-676-4996. Since we had a winner yesterday in Cunis, we're starting a new game today, so it's a new sound that you'll be hearing. And if you're good enough to identify it on the first time of hearing it, then that would be really nice. We have your gift ready. Yeah. But if not, just listen to it and try to figure it out. All right? So, we're ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. I haven't heard the sound yet. I saw a surprised look on Audley's face when he listened to it off air a while ago. Shellz and myself and even maybe Richie across the glass will be hearing it for the first time, as well as our listeners. Here's our new secret sound. This one sounds like a daughter than the other one.
Oh, that.
What was that?
What that?
Let me hear it again. New secret sound. Sound like a holy for them too. I don't know. Sound like a holy for them.
Oh boy.
We don't know. 876-676-4996.
Oh boy.
You can call us if you think you can manage it. I know it's the first time you're hearing it, so we're going to play it again for your benefit. Listen to this sound. That is the sound that you must identify, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a call right now. Again, the number?
876-676-4996.
And Shellz, we do have our first caller. Good morning, caller. You are on the air. Hello.
Good morning, Richie B. What did you bring back from Dubai for me, please?
Just tell me where to find you.
Okay, I'm in St. Elizabeth.
Oh,
Vauxhall to be exact.
Nice.
Oh,
Well,
how often do you come into Kingston?
No, that's simple.
You said I should tell you where I am, so you are the one to find me, Richie B.
I thought you were going to give me...
Go work in your bread and meat. Talis here.
Talis, welcome on, Talis.
Greetings.
No, if you had said like you're on Hope Road or, like Trafalgar, then we could work something out. But when you go St. Bess, I don't know about that one, but I'll hold on to something for you, all right?
Okay, then.
All right. So you heard the sound for the first time. I think it is fair that we give Talis a chance to hear the sound again before we ask her for the answer, if she has one. Listen. That is the sound, Talis. Can you identify it?
Is it a camel?
A camel? No, it's not a camel at all.
Can I say a birthday big up, please?
Yes, go ahead quickly. Why not?
Okay, I want to say happy belated birthday to my brother Darren, who was over there in New York, who had his birthday on Sunday. Today is my other brother, Matthew.
Nice.
Wishing him all the best. And tomorrow is my beautiful daughter, Veroni, over there in Montego Bay. So all the best, guys, and love you.
Love you too.
Big ups. Love too.
All right. Thank you so much, Talis.
Nice.
Kind of broke the rules there, but don't worry about it. You're an ardent listener.
Yeah, man.
We take another call. We have several calls, it seems. Good morning. You're on the air. This is Bridge 99 FM. Up and go. Secret Sound Game. Hello.
Have no fear. Good morning, Richie Rich.
Morning, Dennis. How you doing? Richie Rich, the one call.
Richie Rich indeed.
Well, go on, Dennis.
Me there up on the club there, you know. You know what? Me I try for the secret song. You know what I say? It sound like when puss have young pitney.
Are you trying to say a puss? Sorry, in this instance, I'll say a cat. Are you trying to say a cat in child's birth?
Yeah, man, have some young children on it.
Make a check now. Jojo?
If your intention was to create some humor, you have definitely met that criteria.
Dennis.
It is not a puss or a cat having no kittens.
No, sir.
All right, sir. Just let up on yourself on the bridge. Yes, sir.
Every
Yeah,
time,
man.
Dennis. Enough respect, sir.
All right.
Okay, no winner so far. Let's take one more call. It's 9:35 a.m. The new Secret Sound Game is on. The sound that you must identify is this. It's not a camel. It's not cats making the sound as they are in childbirth. What is it? Let's find out. Good morning. You're on the air. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Okay, Manny, I think the sound is a dolphin, a sonar recording of a dolphin.
Sonar recording of a dolphin.
Like how I'm thinking, you know.
Hey, by the way, Shellz, when I hear your sound, man, I'm get it wrong.
No, I did it, man. I did it, man. Yeah, man. But,
With all the
but you
excitement.
know what? In this case, when I get it loud and clear, wah, wah, wah.
That means you're wrong, bro.
Good try, though.
Try again tomorrow morning, all right?
Okay.
9:30 a.m. is the time when we play the game, the Secret Sound Game. Coming up in this block, we'll be having a chat with Mr. Winston Neal of Jamaica Plumbing Supplies. I was there fairly recently myself, and I was treated, shall we say, royally.
Nice.
And then my plumber, the plumber working at my house, needed some material, and he also went down to Jamaica Plumbing Supplies, so we know them well.
Nice.
So Mr. Neal is going to be joining us inside of the Global Connection.
Yes. We are fly out.
Yeah. And he'll be telling us about the business, and I think they're into the expansion mode. Might have established another branch recently and all that kind of stuff going on. Yeah, man. And they were one of the sponsors, of course, themselves, and Reggae Sumfest. The Jamaica Stock Exchange,
Electric Sticky,
and Tad's Records also sponsoring. I think we also have an interview with a representative from Tad's coming up soon. So
nice.
Going to be having chats with them, right? It's now 14 and a half minutes after 10 o'clock. In a second now, you'll be hearing my good friend, DJ Roy, out of Irie Jam Radio, New York, saying something like, morning, 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 morning.
New York City.
Here it is.
Morning, 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 morning.
There it is.
Morning, sir.
Well,
What's up, Roy?
gentlemen, I am good, man. Good. Welcome back, and I'm glad that you're back safe and sound, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Definitely, I'm grateful to be back home, man. I was very scared when I took off in Amsterdam, DJ Roy, because the weather was bad. And that plane... A lot of
turbulence?
Yeah, serious turbulence and a whole lot of rainfall. I was sitting at the window right overlooking the wing of the plane, and I had to say a prayer or two.
Yeah, can you imagine?
If there were some Jamaicans on that flight, you'd be hearing all kinds of stuff going on.
You know what's amazing?
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing when you travel and when you travel to Jamaica, when the plane lands in Jamaica, everybody claps.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
when I travel from New York to Miami, everybody rush and get them luggage and come off.
Yeah, waste time I clap for. Let's go.
We had one concern when we landed on Monday. There was a young lady who was in the on the flight, and she was having some health challenges, and so they announced that everyone should remain seated until the health professionals came onto the aircraft to get her some assistance. And one gentleman got up right after that announcement trying to get his luggage, and man, the Jamaican them deal with them wicked.
See him, so
yeah, man, it was something else, and they took it on and took him on, and he was just very calm. I was just trying to get my bag, but everybody, of course, him sorry for the bread after the whole experience. Yeah, stuff happens, you know how it is.
Wow. We're very vocal, we Jamaicans, no matter where we go, even if we don't speak the language.
Very colorful language we tend to use too. Inside of this segment, which is the Global Connection, we have a very special guest who is joining us. He was one of our main sponsors of our trek over to Dubai and back. And we're very pleased at this time to welcome to Up and Go Mr. Winston Neal, the Managing Director of the Jamaica Plumbing Supplies, who is here with us as our guest. Good morning, Mr. Neal.
Morning.
In New York City and all around the world. Good morning, Richie B. How are you?
I am doing well, Mr. Neal. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your sponsorship of our trek to Dubai recently. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Mr. Richie B. I know they call you Winston.
All right. We will. I'm also joined by Shellz in this segment, and he'll have a question for you also. Winston, give our listeners, if you will, a little bit of history surrounding your company, Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited.
Okay, Jamaica Plumbing. Jamaica Plumbing was birthed out of need. For example, all my documentation, my position is a plumber.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a plumber.
Yes.
Yes. So when I was doing plumbing, it was just so stressful just to get materials to do one simple job. I would have to make my way to Crossroad, Malcolm Hardware, and get maybe 50%
Slide
or
Road.
20% of the item.
Mm-hmm.
I check pure hardware there, the same. I go to you and then I may get one or two items, and then I go to hardware and lumber because there was no True Value that time.
Yes.
There was no Jamaica Plumbing. And I eventually spend maybe 4 hours out of the entire day just sourcing material to do any one single job, no matter how simple the job is.
Mm-hmm.
So you find that 2 things used to happen. I used to waste a lot of time and spend a lot of money. Because if I want 1 elbow, I would have to make sure buy 4. But it doesn't mean that necessarily that the next job going to require a elbow, whether it's a PVC elbow or a galvanized elbow. So I keep having a stockpile of material. And the demand for getting the supply to do a job, and in a given day or week, work is a big job. So Jamaica Plumbing was really birthed out of a need of sourcing, getting a true one-stop plumbing supply. And I said a true one-stop because there is a one-stop plumbing supply that used to be around, but the same thing would apply.
Yes. DJ Roy, I had reason to stop by Winston's business place on the Lions Road. They all know me down there, and even when you don't see me, Winston, the plumbers that work for me usually go by you to source the parts. We have to commend you on what you have there, and also at your other location, which we'll talk about. But customer service is of paramount importance to you, and we always are very, very pleased when we leave your store because of that aspect of customer service. You obviously place a serious emphasis on that.
Richie B, that's our number one priority. If we cannot serve the public well, they don't have to come back. You or your plumber or Jamaica don't have to come back. You know, it's one of the greatest pride and joy when somebody said, when are you going to put a store in Montego Bay? When are you going to put a store in Negril? When are you going to put a store in Mandeville? And so forth. Because of the satisfaction goes both ways. They are satisfied first because of the customer service. Secondly, sometimes we don't have exactly what they want. But most of my, and I said, changes to our staff, because this business is built by my wife and myself, and now my son joined us.
Yes.
Brenton Neal. And what they will do, our staff will do, they will say, okay, we don't have this, but this can work. And they will even go through the trouble, the extra mile to show them how it can work so they don't come back. Or the plumber said, look here, it cannot work. So we save them time and we save them, in some case, money.
Yes.
And I know our prices are very good also because at present, a lot of hardware buy directly from us.
Fantastic.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
without even discount because, you know, we try to import like 90% of our goods. So we import in most cases directly from manufacturer all over the world.
Nice.
So that helps us to really, especially now, to cushion the expense, freight and all of that. And so, you know, we maintain that.
Give thanks, Mr. Neal.
God be the glory.
Shellz here. Gentlemen, I have a confession to make. I may look like the epitome of manliness, but it's only comes to, you know, plumbing and everything that I always wanted to do stuff like that. And it's nice to know that, you know, Jamaican Plumbing Supplies is like a one-stop shop. I respect that. But I have a question for you, Mr. Neal, putting you on the spot. For persons like currently trying to renovate like their bathrooms, you know, and probably want something bossy. Like like a jacuzzi / bath niceness. You know, you guys have stuff like that available?
You're asking the right question.
Yeah.
And you come to the right place. and it's you know, the kind of traffic that we carry at Marley Road, I wish I could divert 50% of it to Portmore because Portmore, we have a huge showroom.
Yeah, man, I saw it. Man.
And we have adequate parking space. I mean, we can load at least 6 40-foot containers right now of pipe and plumbing and shit anywhere in Jamaica.
Wow.
And we still don't run out. But Marley Road, I mean, I know I'm diverting a little off your question. We have pipe and parking. But the reason is because we have everything that people want. We have jacuzzi, we have basin. We even playing around a little with tile. And believe you me, if our customer continue to demand, we're going to let it go as big as we have plumbing. Because what people are saying, not that you want to compete with anyone, but they really want just from one place and pick up everything. You know,
one stop.
They can't buy the plumbing here. Oh, you know something? I just go up the road to buy some tile. I'm going to buy a tile this and I prefer this one. You know, so we're really basically working with our customers to give them what they want.
Yeah.
But yes, we can give you advice on renovating bathroom, and we can guarantee we can change your bathroom in the next 48 hours.
All right. Cool.
Roy, you know the value of having a good plumber when especially you're doing renovations and so on. And Mr. Winston and Neil and the team, they are big on that. They give good advice. And as he pointed out a while ago, even where you need to maybe do substitutions because of what is available, they can also take you through that. I've experienced it myself, so I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I like what I'm hearing is that, we here in the States, sometimes we think like we have to put everything in a container and ship it down where I do the bathroom. Let send down my toilet, let me send down my basin. But it's quite obvious that we can get everything in Jamaica and don't have to go off and spend 3 days off and try to clear the thing them. So I'm really extremely happy, and I'm quite sure those in the tri-state area are feeling the same vibes. What I will say though is, Mandeville, put one on Mandeville.
We're working on it. We're not going to give away the next location. We are working on it.
All right.
And you know this gap with a container. So it's so often that people, when they take on a container, for example, when they open the container, 2, 3, 4 of their expensive toilets are basically broke up, break. And they have to run to Jamaica Plumbing because guess what happened? It's time to open up the business. It's time to move in. We're tired of people being around the place, so we can't import it all over again. Plus, it's going to cost us double.
Right.
And we guarantee you, if we are delivering in Jamaica, you come and you pay for your stuff, and we deliver it to your doorstep just the way the packet here.
Nice. Fantastic. How can you be contacted? People in the tri-state area are listening. How can they reach you?
They can reach us. We have a website. And that is the best way to reach us because on our website it carries our phone number, which is unfortunately there's a particular company. Their numbers does not work every day, and we pay for them every day. But our email address is there, and that is one of the fastest ways to get in touch with us now. Okay. And that is JAPLUM, Jamaica Plumbing Supply, JA.com.
Okay.
It's all on the website, and once you go on the website, you can just Google Jamaica Plumbing, and it leads you to everywhere, anywhere.
All right. Listen, Winston Neil, proud of you. Congratulations. You have expanded into Portmore, and it seems you will be going to other parts of the island. I wish you all the best going forward. Give my regards to every member of staff, your wife and your son, and all the other members of staff, and we look forward to partnering with you again in the near future.
Thank you very, very much, and God bless you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Winston Neil.
I hope my daughter is listening in New York because I sent her the link, and just in case she's listening. Carla.
All right. What's her name?
Carla Neal.
All right. Sorry. Carla, big up.
Now.
All right. All right, Winston, take care. All the best.
Okay, then. Bye-bye.
Wonderful. Yeah. That's one of our sponsors there that we thought would allow you to hear more about. And they're on the up and up, definitely in the growth path. We wish them well.
Yeah. Yes.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.